the Redis is NoSQL key value stored database, and we can say that it is also called it as the in-memory data structure storage. That first one, what is Redis? The abbreviation of the Redis is Remote Dictionary Server, and if you see that RE is actually from the remote, DI is actually from the dictionary word, and last one is the S. So remote dictionary server, that is the Redis. And to understand much more better, and Redis is in-memory data structure storage, and we can say that Redis is in-memory key value database, and the last one is it is a message broker also, the cache and message broker. And this Redis is actually written into the C programming language. Okay, and we have seen that the Cassandra is written in Java, and we have seen that graph database Neo4j. We have seen that graph database Neo4j is written in the Java language, right? But Redis is written in the C language. So moving to the next one, before going to understanding about Redis, we should have some idea about what are the other databases are there with respect to this memory cache databases are like key value storage databases. The first one is the RocksDB, which is one of the example we can say. This is also part of the key value store database, and Aerospike, and this the memory cache, which is very popular, guys. It's one of the most popular key value storage databases. And also we have something called React, which is also we can use it in the key value storage database, and NutsDB, and finally is BoltDB. Okay, these are the some examples I've listed, but there are 30 40 databases are there. If you want to have a look into it, this is the link. Anyway, I will share in the video description. You can go and get these information key value databases from the Wikipedia. There are so many, but what databases we can focus, right? Three databases we can focus if you want to be strong. One is a React, another one is a Memcache, and the one which we are discussing about is the Redis. Okay, and let's understand who is behind this software, okay, or who's behind this database server. The original author is one author only. His name is Salvatore Sanfilippo. This guy, Sanfilippo, this guy is actually created this Redis uh, almost 11 years back in 2009. Okay, so he created that one, and there are so many versions are available. So currently we are using the sixth version, and after that, this software is taken by the Redis Labs. There is a separate community is formed, and actually supporting this one by this community itself. Okay, so basically this software is, or we can say this database server is built to improve the scalability of Italian startup name called Real Time Web Lodge Analyzer. And first it is used in that one only, but he actually used this guy Sanifilo. He actually used the C language. Okay, to get into this. First initially used this TCL. I think you know about, there is a computer language. C is actually compiler name is the TCL, right? You know about it, right? So there he actually implemented this, and then he moved to this way. Okay, fine. Currently in 2010, so after 1 year, the VMware company is actually taken him into this in his in the VMware organization. Okay, that is all about little story behind this Redis Labs. So currently is the Redis Labs is using it. Now Redis clients. So what are the clients? Which are the companies are using this Redis software or Redis database in their projects? Snapshot is the one, and GitHub, and we have Twitter. Twitter is also using this one, and Dig is one other startup company, and also Stack Overflow. You know, right? Stack Overflow, which is one of the largest Q&A platform for the tech people. So Stack Overflow is also using it. Flickr is using it, and also we have something called Craigslist. Okay, and also Pinterest. Okay, you can say Pinterest is also is using it. So these are the social networking platforms, and as well as tech companies. I mean, especially I'm talking about the GitHub, Stack Overflow. These companies also using this Redis a lot, and I will show you that what is the main differences between the um, relational database and this Redis database. We'll have a look into it again shortly. This information I've taken from the Redis official website just to make sure that, okay. Now we are going to talk about Redis versus relational database management system. This slide is very important you to understand much better. So first thing is Redis is a NoSQL database. I'm comparing this one with the relational databases. So actually, when you are writing a data or you are inserting the data into the database, we use the second memory in the for the relational databases. Okay, but if it comes to this Redis, I'm talking about only Redis, not all the NoSQL databases. It stores everything into the primary memory. Okay, it cannot store the large files or the binary data like blob data and all. So RDBMS is can easily deal with these type of files, and we can little store the glob, blob, and such kind of data. And Redis is used only to store those small textual information which needs to be accessed. And is of course, as I said, like it is a key value stored database. So in the relational database management system, we use the large data to store it. And not if you want to use too much big data and all, we can go for the MongoDB and all, right? Okay. And also read and write operations are extremely fast because you are using the primary memory, which is easily we can access it. But when you're using the secondary memory means obviously the operations are slow. Okay. So that is the reason behind it, why it is fast, why it is slow. And that is where we can use it. And Redis is not for everything, not for all the data. Okay. Just keep in your mind. This is only like something which is a small text data which you want to store it, something like key value pair kind of things, we can go for the Redis. But it is very important nowadays, the companies are using it. Okay. Then what are the features of the Redis? Of course, every NoSQL server databases provides the one of the feature name is called the master slave replications. If something has happened to the server, we need some backup support. That's where the master and slave replication come into the picture. And Redis basically use the in-memory, but persistent on the disk database as well. We can also do it. And Redis data types are there, and basically in the Redis, when you're using the data types like string, list, or something, those data types are related to the data structures. Okay. That we are going to discuss in the next slide. Redis is very flexible, and we can use it for the caching purpose when you want to store the data into the disk or like primary memory. Okay, that's something. And what to remember here, Redis key length has the maximum of the 2 GB. When you're using any key value pair and the key length is always maximum, it can go for the 2 GB, not more than that. This is one of the point you should remember when you're using the Redis. So moving to the next one, there are some data types and abstractions are there. When I say abstraction means some data structures, which we are going to look into it here. And before that, Redis is not plain key value store database when you compare with the other key value store databases. It is actually data structure server. The whoever is developed this database, that guy is saying that don't call it as the Python dictionaries, we can call it as a data structures. So that is a term basically. I will show you that one also in shortly, how this can be done. So now I am showing that some of the data types which we are using into the Redis, these are the main, the keys and strings and the hashes, and also we are going to use something like sets and sorted sets and list. These are the things which basically we use in the programming, the bitmaps and hyperlocks, and the last one is the geospatial indexes. These are the main important data types we actually use in the Redis programming. I will write a code and show you in the command prompt how to create a strings, how to create a sets and list. We'll get an idea. And it is easy to write, guys. This database is very easy. You can easily put this database in your profile for you're going for any jobs and all. Okay, this is good to keep on memory databases like this. And Redis can be used in the various programming languages. So we can see C++, Julia, R language, PHP, whatnot, many languages, including Python, PLSQL, Ruby, many languages we can use this Redis. So basically this source I've taken from the official website only, just keeping you updated. So don't you think like only we are using into the Python, but we can also use it in the multiple languages. and because it is a memory cache database basically, right? So moving to the next one, and current stable version is a 6.0.10. So it is actually released on January 13, 2021, just 9 days ago. Even I updated the current stable version in my local computer. So I can also show you that what is the version I'm using it. I will show you some comments. We'll get to know in shortly how to know about which version we are using the release and all, how to install it. I will tell you. The next one, installation in Windows. For example, if you're using the Windows operating system, how to install it. And you have to go to this website. I will keep this link into the video description. I can just click that link. And also I will show you now where this website link is there. And definitely I will show you. When you go to this link, again, you click that releases link, then automatically there is a MSI file, .exe file will be there. You can install it, then open the Redis CLI file, which is there in the, once you install it, automatically it will show you. I will show you now screenshots also how to install it. And the next one is you have to enter the command called ping in the command prompt. And when you get the answer is pong, that means your Redis is installed successfully in your computer. When you say ping, you will get an answer is pong. So that means you are successfully done. If anybody using the Mac OS, and installation is very easy, and we have to use the command called the brew install Redis and the brew services start Redis. This is one way of installing it, guys. And you can start the Redis services. And after that, you can use the Redis hyphen CLI and ping, and we'll get the answer is Pong. That means it is successfully installed. And if you want to stop the services, we can use the brew services stop Redis. But the people who are using it in the Windows system, once you start the services, even if you close your laptop also, maybe one after that again you open it, still it is there. If you want to stop it, and you have to go to the Microsoft processors, then you can stop that process from the Microsoft processors itself. Okay, that is one way of doing it. And moving to that, what is the default port number for the Redis is 6379. Just remember, guys, 6379 is the default port number, which actually Redis uses. And here I'm going to talk some more points. What kind of Redis softwares, what kind of versions I can get from the Redis. So you can get the Redis from the Docker Hub, from the Docker itself. You can get the Redis from the cloud environment. Okay, for example, if any company wants to use this Redis for their businesses purposes and all, Redis Cloud Essential is there. We can use that one. And also we can Redis is available for the free release. For example, the next month, if the Redis is going to be released, we can, as a developer, you can install that one from the pre-release section. And also there is a stable versions also available. So we have these 4 ways we can get the data. And also there is unstable version is also there. If you want to download, we can do it from the official website. Okay. And the next one is what are the operating systems? So which operating systems Redis supports? It supports Linux and Windows, and last one is the Mac. It supports all these 3 types of the operating systems when you're using the Redis itself. And so I want to use the Redis. How can I use the Redis with the Python programming? Yes, we can use. What is the Python drivers? We can use Redis only. We can install the Redis. So pip install and we can say Redis, it will get installed directly. So I think it's more than enough. We can also go and read more about the Redis information in their documentation. Let's do some practical now, how we can set up the Redis in our local. Okay. So already I have some commands in this here. This is official websites, Windows people, you can use this one, Redis Labs. So all this information which already there is a few important commands which I listed here to understand better way. So what I will do, right, I will take you to this official website and show you some important information. This is the Redis official website, and you can see that the main thing is the Redis 7 is going to be expected release in the later in this year. This is one important news you can just observe here. And you can get the downloads. You just go to the download button here, click on the download, you'll get the unstable version, pre-release version, stable version, the Docker and the cloud. And I strongly recommend you to go to this, download this the stable version for the Mac people. So you'll get the folder directly. That is one way of doing it. But another way is like I will show you in the command prompt. You can use the brew services. That is also one way to do it. Okay, a lot of ways we can do it. That is one way. And for example, if you are Windows user, you just click on this button. Okay, this link, and you have to go to the this page. This is a GitHub page, and there is something called release page. Here you'll get the MSI installer, and you can directly install it from there itself. So better you can download this 3.2.1, but for Windows people, the latest version 3.0, you can also install this one with the MSI. We can also work on it. Just click this 6.42 MB, judges for enough. Okay. So, and if you are using the cloud one, that is you can just click on the launch button. This launch button will take you to the redislabs.com. This is for the enterprises. If you want to host the Redis into the any cloud environments, we can use this one. Any questions? Okay. You can see this is can be fully managed on the Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud, because these are the most popular web services we see, right? Generally nowadays, Azure and Amazon, Google Cloud. So we can use this Redis there also. And if you want to use this is a credit. You can try this if you want. And yeah, this is something which is interesting. Okay. And next one is let me go back to the website. And here there is a documentation, and there is a very nice documentation here. It is there. Okay, let me go and show you first in my command prompt how to install it in the Mac. So I'm into already I downloaded the Redis folder in my local computer. Okay, that is one way we can do it. So what I will let me show you here. Let me go to this documents. There is a Redis 6.0.10. Here you can see this. We can find the source code, I mean source folder. Inside that we'll get the Redis CLI, that's called command line interface, and the Redis server is also there. But I don't want to use this folder here. Okay, just leave it. I don't want to use this way. I will go with the commands which I explained here, right? So brew, install, Redis and all. Okay, so very simple commands, guys. Go and type this brew, install and Redis, and it will get installed if you are using the Mac. Okay, so first time it may take some time, but since I already installed in my system, let me show you that. Okay, what is the command? It's going to say that. Okay, it's saying that it is Redis is already installed. The current version is 6.0.10 only. So I don't want to reinstall it again. If you want to reinstall, you can use this command. And the next command is the brew services start Redis. So what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to enter this brew services start Redis. Just enter. Okay. The service will get started. So successfully started. If you want to stop the services, we can use the command very easily here. Stop services. Okay, and stop Redis, and this will get stopped. And again, if you want to start again, use the start Redis. Okay, something like this. Okay, so I'm using the control K. Let's get into the programming here. So I want to check whether it is working successfully or not. Okay, so before going to check this one, we need to enter some command. That command is the CLI command, to know about this Redis is working well in my system or not. But those commands are already, sorry, those commands already mentioned here. So first time when you are going to work on this, we have to use the command called the Redis CLI, which version you are using it. Okay, so you can enter this command. It says that so Redis CLI hyphen version, the arguments begin with this command is wrong. So we have to go to the first Redis CLI. So you enter like Redis hyphen CLI. This is a command line interface. You just enter. So that means you are there inside this. Okay, you are there inside this. So it means it is a local host colon. The port number is 6379 is the by default one, right? Then after that, you can write the commands. If you want to take the commands help, you can enter the help command and you'll get all these things. If you want to quit this group, quit from this, you can enter the quit. Means you will out of the Redis CLI. Again, you want to enter, just enter like this, which will go again inside this. Okay, fine. After all these things, what else we can have a look into it? So for example, okay, I'm going to show you something. If you want to know the what is the Redis server using the processors, you can just type here the pgref redis server. Okay, when you're using this command pg or ref redis hyphen server, so basically these commands works in the Windows system, and also it works in the our client systems, but we need to make sure that the where you are working. So these commands which won't work into the CLI, you have to feed this. Okay, and again you enter the command name. Okay, I will go and again paste that command PG. So you can see that what is the processor I am using in with respect to the Redis 6850. If you want to kill that process, I already mentioned the pkill Redis server. And if you want to shut down the CLI, and we can use a shutdown command, but I'm not using at this moment. It's not required. Okay. So let's go again into the Redis CLI. It is a command line interface. Now I'm going to create some actual data. So far we are not created, it's just like a configuration and installation. Right now I want to create a data. So look at this guys, this is a very easy to know. And for example, first I want to cross check whether, see anyway I connected here. Again, if you want to cross check this, whether it is working or not, we enter the ping and we'll get the pong. So when you are getting this answer is pong, that means you are successfully installed in your local computer. The Redis is successfully done. Okay, that's something which you should know. And for example, how to write a print statement in the this Redis database, you can use the echo and you can type here, for example, hello Redis, for example, I can write. Okay, so just enter here, you'll get the same message. The echo is actually like printable statements in here we use to get the data. For example, if you want to set some names, and we can set the names here, for example, I can use the set, and see when I entering the set itself, it is giving a syntax how to use it. And you can see set is the keyword. After that I need to enter the key mostly like it internally considered as a strings. For example, if I say set name, and the value I can say like this, hello, or I can say my name Raja, and you enter. Okay, so that means you'll get the output is okay. I mean output, it is not output, that the message you'll get the okay. Then if you want to get that information, we need to use the get command, pass the key. So this is the Raja. Okay, as I told you earlier itself, this is only for the small text which you want to use it in your databases. Now this set name Raja and get name. So set is the set keyword, it's called key value pairs. Basically you are giving the key and getting the value. And not only like this, for example, I want to set integer values. So you can use the age, and here you can say the 45, and age is there, okay, and get age is fine. For example, if I want to what I can say increment these values, we can use the increment or incr, and we can enter the key name is the age, and is incremented to 45 plus 146. If you want to get the age now, you can enter 46 is the old one is the 45, it is incremented. So something like this guys. For example, if you want to decrement, you can use the DECR, and the key is the age. Okay, enter, it's a 45. Again, if you want to get age, you can enter age is the 45, something like this. And not only this, for example, I entered get something. Okay, get Python. This is not non-existing key. When I enter the non-existing key, we'll get the value is the nil. Okay, because that is not found. The value is not found. By default, value is the nil. If you want to check whether this is available or not, if I say exists Python, I'd say that 0. If I use the exist age, and we'll get the 1. So 0 means it is false, and age is means so true, which you're seeing on the screen is 1. Basically, this is how it works. So if you want to, for example, if you want to delete, okay, I'm going to set name to, and this is, I will say that it is a Raja 2, and I'm entering this. If you want to get this name to, you can use the get name to. If you want to delete this command, we can use the command called del, and you can use the name here, name to, and you are deleted. So if you want to check whether it is exist or not, we can use the command called exist, and we can say it is the name to, and we'll get the output is 0 because you are deleted. So what I mean to say that if you want to print something, you can use echo command. If you want to set some value to the key, we can use the set command. Get is for the retrievals. If you want to increment values, we can use incr. and decrement is DECR, and check whether it is existing or not. So it's always like key and value kind of thing. It's key. Okay, in documentation, go to the documentation. I think we are in that page only. You can see there is a full list of commands. There is so many commands. Don't worry about these commands, guys. Okay. And if you want to flush means whatever the commands, if whatever the data I inserted into this database in my local computer, if you use the flush all the data will be deleted. Okay, so we need to be very careful when you're using the flush, and when you are working into the bigger like distributed environments, we can use the clusters and all. Of course, NoSQL mainly we use in the clusters. Okay, these are the so many commands. You don't need to worry about all these commands. It's not really needed for us. When you are actually started working into this Redis, you will come to know. But I will take one use case using with the Django or Flask. We can connect with the Redis to make it some meaningful things. Okay, and I strongly recommend you, when you have some time, go to the first read the Redis data types, and here Redis keys are there. Okay, and Redis keys are the binary safe, means you can store the string and as well as the JPG format, and the maximum allowed key size is the 512 MB, and because we can't store the big values in the Redis, that's a problem. Okay, the purpose is different, right? And the Redis string is simplest like this. And most of the people, they compare this Redis with the memcached database. I will show you that one also now. So let me say, okay, this is one of the another key value stored database. Okay, um, so Redis is one, and this is also there, memcached. So most of the times in interviews and all, people ask you the question, what is the difference, what is the difference when you're using the Redis and Memcache? And there is a lot of things are there. Memcache is not on the cloud, Redis is there on the cloud. Like that, there are so many differences. I will also share that PDF with you in the description box. You'll get to know everything. But no need of going too much on this, but I am going to say this. Okay, because questions comes if you're going as a data engineer, and these kind of questions may come in interviews. Okay, and moving to the point here. Okay, the point I'm going to talk about. Okay, keys, and there is something called sets, and also we use something called okay, expiry is also there. If you create something, and it also will get expired in some time. Okay, so means you created some data. Assume that you created some data. After that, it will expire. Let me create. I'll show you how expire works. So what I will do, right? I will use the set command, and to set the message, say that this message, and say that here, hello, greetings. Okay, so this is a just simple string which I'm using it here, and just enter. So just now it is created, guys. Is it visible? uh, Visible, right, this comments?
Yeah,
Because today I got to know from someone, they are not able to see the comments when it is after recording, so that's why.
yeah,
Okay,
it's visible.
visible, right? Okay, so set message, hello, greetings. Now, what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to set some expiry. Okay, this message should expire after some time. So what I will do, right? Expiry and message. And if you want to keep this one into the 20 seconds after, because here we are giving the seconds here. When I say expiry message 20, this means this will be expired after the 20 seconds. So now I said this is a true now. I want to cross check this. TTL is the command, and we use the message and say that 11 seconds are remaining. Again, I'm using this command, 8 seconds are remaining. Again, I'm using this command, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, and 3 seconds, and again 2 seconds. So now it is expired. The message is got expired. Whenever the message is expired, you always will get the output is, it's not message, the key is expired, and you are getting the answer is -2. Okay, that means any message in the real time also, if you think that some message is very important, example, I can say you are running on some offer. Okay, assume that there is a chatbot and you are answering to the customer, but the offer is valid only next 30 minutes, the offer is valid only next 1 hour. We can set that offer as the key, and for next 30 minutes or like next 1 hour, our next studies, something offers we can set. That's where we can attract the users to make the payment forcibly, right? So this is somewhere we can use this expiry command, right? Okay, this is what I want to say. This is a little bit important, okay? And one more important thing is we can also assign this one to the keys. Example, you can use the set. So far I'm using the key, right? But what I will do, right, I will use the key colon and I will set the name. For example, you take the mission and colon name, and I will give the name here. In the quotes, it is a Mac mission. Just you enter. So this is also okay. Means the previously we are giving the, just only the key. Now I'm giving the mission colon. Mission name is Mac. You know, I am going to give now. Next time is instead of name, I'll give the mission IP address, mission IP, and inside this I will mention. So I don't want to mention only in the quotes. You can also give this information into the normal format also. For example, 134.56 dot and 78 dot, some random IP address which I'm giving here. You'll get okay. So if I want to see this data, you can use this get and mission, and you have to provide the exact IP. Okay. So what is the use of this one? With the mission, I can store the name. With the mission, I can store IP. So mission is the actual main boundary element. Under that, I can store the name, age, and for example, tomorrow I can store the location. Okay, example, I'm saying that location, you can say that New York. Okay, but you can see we need to set this. Actually, I'm using the get command. We can use the set here. Oops, enter set is now, and we can use this mission and colon location. This we can use. Okay, this is really useful when you're working with any messaging kind of applications, okay, in your projects. Okay, nowadays it is very important for the to attract the customers or to give the support to the customers, especially on the businesses people are running, right, in 24 by 7 support, right? So we can use the automations. We can build machine learning here, and if based on the based on the customer or like user, whatever the text is entering or she, so we'll give an answer based on this. Chatbot will give an answer, but storing the data is important, right? We can use Redis. Not Redis, we can use Memcache. So point here, I'm talking about the key value store databases we can use. So whether it is Redis or whatever it is, it depends on the what problem you are solving. Then based on that, we will decide that which database can be used or not. Okay. So any questions? There is a lot of things, guys, to do with here, but I can discuss with you this one with the one Django project or Flask project. Then you will get an idea. I already building some project. I'll show you. Okay, maybe in another 2 weeks, something like this. And if you come to these pages, and if you want to read this, there is a directly you can go to their website and you can read it. But comes to the point, how to work. I'm a Python developer. Is there any way to connect with this document? Yes, definitely we can connect with Redis software and Redis server. Here, this is a very good real Python, I think. So I suggested this website to the many people, but this content is really good. And they are explained about how to pronounce this Redis. There is many people pronounce in different way, and that's up to you. And we can see this, how to install the Redis from the source. The guys, anyway, I'm going to give this one. There is a comment here. A lot of things are there, and you can go and read this if you are interested. So if you want to set anything, like we can use these commands. Okay. So better always follow the official documentation, because this article maybe they are done in the maybe last year, but the one which you are using the maybe latest one. So that's something you can look at that. But I'm not talked much on this. You just go and explore it. If you are interested, then we can talk complete coding. There is a set, there is a list, there is a sorted set, there is a geospatial elements. You can see the hashes commands also there. If you are using the hashes, that always it starts with h set, h get, hm set. Same commands only. If you go to this command terminal, here I'm using the set, right? If you are using the hashes, you can use the h set. So what does it mean? Like, okay, you are using the hash table hashing mechanism at the backend. If you are using the set, means it always starts with s, and you can use the command s set or s card or something like this. That means you are using the sets. sets using the different hash table mechanism backend. Hash key is different, hash table is different. So different data structures they use. That is the reason this Redis is called as a something like data structure oriented. And more importantly, this is Redis is always focused on the time complexity, how we can execute this code. These are the commands, guys. Hopefully, you can. This is going to be helpful to you, and you will get some idea. So you can have a look into it. This link I will provide you. FlushDB means you are deleting the entire database itself. You can use this, okay, and we can create this. But comes to this Python, and it's very simple. I'm going to use code. Let me show you. Using Redis is simple. Okay, Redis and Python code. Say that python.py. And before that, we need to install this Redis here. So just go to the terminal and hope you need to connect with the internet to install this Redis. And you can use the command called pip3 install, and we use the Redis. So this is the command. So when you install this one, Redis will be installed in your local, but it looks like in my system, it is already installed or satisfied. And there is no any dependency softwares, or there is no any dependency libraries for this Redis. You can just install it, okay? And after that, you can go and use the commands import Redis, but already there is a given one website here, and this is enough, okay? For example, there is a two commands here, import Redis and redis.redis. So in similar case, I'm writing the same code here, import Redis and redis dot and class name is the Redis here, okay? This is the class name. So you have to create an here method. Okay, say that r is equal to something like this. R, we can say instead of r, we can say a Redis connection. Okay, CONN. So if you want to print this, the connection should be established. Okay, and let me see. And I'm going to execute this code, and you will see the connection is object is established. The port number is 6379. Okay, so let me show you something. I will go to this command prompt. I want to stop this server. So what is the command, guys, to stop the server? So this, I'm stopping the Redis. Now I'm going to execute this Python code. I'm going to execute this Python code, and we'll see whether the object is created or not. Okay. So still you are seeing that object is created, but it is not created yet because connection still previous connection is there, but not really. Okay. But let me prove. I'll go to this website, and I'm going to use this same code. Okay, I'm going to set, this is a m set I'm going to use. You can write a command, it's very simple, and say that this is set data equal to this one. Now I'm going to print this. Okay, so if we get the output is true, then it would be fine. Let's see this, instead of R, I will use the Redis connection here because R is actually Redis connection. Now I'm going to execute this, you'll get an error. See, previously we got that connection is there, but connection is refused now because you stopped the server. Where is that, man? Okay, so this is the one. I need to start the server and again execute this start. So because why I'm showing this, you get the these kind of exceptions. So one use case is like when you stop the server, immediately you are not seeing that the connection is closed, but you are able to see that connection is refused when you are trying to set some data into the database. Okay, let's say this connection is refused, you are looking at now, right? So I think that successfully started the Redis. Now I'm going to execute this code again. Let me see this, how it works. Fine. The connection is established and true, and you can write normal commands and everything. But best use case is using with some Flask or some Django. So that's the reason I'm not going in deeper. I will use it in the one project, then we'll come to know, because just writing with one inserting the data is not going to help you anything much better in here. We'll use this Redis in our one of our projects, upcoming projects. and especially chart applications. Yeah, that's where it is going to be useful. So any questions?